have a special light on my face so you can see me. I'm not a glowing angel. I just have special lighting, but maybe I can do the whole thing like this and I will look more angelic. I'm back. It's just me, warriors. I hope I didn't scare you. Today we're talking about limits. I've always hated to be limited. I've always hated rules. Not because I like to break the rules, it's because I hate the idea of being limited by them. I always wonder who makes the rules, and those are their limits, so why should they be put on me? Hi, couple. Oh, and couple wants to talk about limits today. I guess that's his favorite subject. Yeah, you like limits? He doesn't like to be limited either. I'm a big lover of Bruce Lee's philosophies, and if you haven't read his books, you should, because they're really phenomenal. His quote says, if you put limit on everything you do, physical or anything else, it will spread into your work, into your life, and there are no limits, there are no plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. Can we get a round of applause for Mr. Lee? Hiya! Bruce, I dig it, and I concur. Excuses are a form of limitation. They make you feel not guilty about accepting fear. I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I'm not good enough, it's probably not a good idea, it's not the right time, it's just not what I'm used to, oh no, I'm too young, oh no, I'm too old. That's totally impossible. We love making excuses because it's the quickest escape out of fear. We don't have to face it, we can move on, the excuse has been made and accepted by them, by us, by everyone, and we are home free. Let's wipe our hands off and go home and take a nap. By allowing these excuses to take its course, we're limiting ourselves and our greatness. We're always going to be in exactly the same place, and our dreams are going to be over there, and we're going to be over here. And right in the middle, the blockade, the door of excuses. Gotta open that door and step right in. Face fears and see what happens. You'll probably surprise yourself most of the time. People say that their biggest fear is the fear of failure. The failure is not stepping through that door of excuses and seeing what's on the other side. Even if the outcome isn't what you imagined it to be, you still faced it, and that took you further than you were before you stepped through the door. Expectation is a bad, nasty word. Expectations cloud your mind with a vision of what you think it's supposed to be. But the reality is that nothing is supposed to be anything. If we just allowed things to be the way that they are, then we would let the universe, the energy flow, and then we could follow along through that path, making the best of everything we have and being grateful. When expectations aren't met, the next step is disappointment. And what happens after disappointment? The excuses set in. I told you I couldn't. The door comes in, blocked, closed, do not enter, not in service, see you tomorrow. Let's talk about rules, another bad word. Rules to me is a proper way of saying you can't. The world is full of these rules. Don't do this, don't do that, warning, can't, go, don't, pass, no. When I see rules, they're kind of like a green light to go ahead. When someone tells me that there's a rule, I respect the rule, but I always ask why first. If you have a great explanation, then that's cool, I'll follow the rule. But if the explanation sucks, well then I'm gonna have to set my own standards. Rule breakers are mind expanders. Rule breakers are fearless warriors. Rule breakers are beautifully unique people that aren't afraid to attack the world in their own way. Those are the people that continue to evolve. Those are the people that make the world more interesting and unique. And then once a rule is broken, a new rule is set. But what if we all lived by the rule that there are no rules, there are no limitations? I wonder where we could all take our lives. Another form of limitation is thinking too much. Thinking too much doesn't allow you to go with your instinct, and so you're blocking yourself once again, limiting yourself, limiting your greatest potential. Sometimes you just gotta go. You just gotta use my mantra, fuck it, and just go. Go without expectation, go without rules, go without limits, and see where the universe will take you. Isn't that freaking exciting? Living in the past, another huge limit crusher. When we live in the past, we live with the idea in our heads of what happened to us, and we identify with what happened to us. But the truth of the matter is that what happened to you already happened, and it doesn't necessarily define who you are now in this present moment. If life is constantly changing and we're constantly evolving, We're never gonna be the people we were in the past. At least for me, that's my goal. I always want to grow, and I always want to learn, and I always want to be evolving. And probably what I'm talking about today, in a year, I'll look back and say, what the hell was I talking about? And that would make me really happy, because that would tell me that I've grown, that I've changed, that I'm trying new things, that I'm not being limited by my own thoughts, my own judgments, and my own mind. I'm going to use a strong word and say that I hate labels. People give us labels all the time. Oh, she's the weird one. She's the cool one. She's the crazy one. That was me. She's the happy one. She's the quiet one. She's the go-getter. She's the dark one. She's the successful one. There's all these labels that people give us all the time, and then we start to believe the labels, and then we label ourselves on top of it. By labeling ourselves, again, we limit ourselves. Because if I believe that I am only the crazy one, then I'm only gonna be crazy all the time. People aren't just one thing all the time. We're everything. We have so many different things going on inside of us, and so many different emotions, so many different aspects to us. It would be silly to just label ourselves to be one very superficial thing. When we do that, we start to become really afraid to step out of that little safety label box. Because what will people think if all of a sudden I'm not the crazy one? If I'm not the funny one? I'm the one who's sad. Or if I'm not the sad one, I'm the one who's really happy. I think people have this expectation, again, there's that word, this expectation of who we should be. But you know what? Every day I wake up, I feel different. Sometimes I feel like I really freaking want to laugh. Sometimes I feel like I want to scream. And sometimes I feel like I want to just take off my clothes and run down the street butt-ass naked. We need to live in our lives in the present moment, without judgment, without limits. Goppo freaking agrees because he stepped up to the plate again. And this is how we make greatness happen for us. This is how we use our lives in full, not just a little portion of it. I challenge you warriors to put aside expectations, fears, rules, and stop labeling yourselves. Live in the present moment, stop thinking so much, and just be alive.